Hello, everyone. Hello. I know it's been some time since you all have seen me sharing some more spiritual messages with you all. I am glad to be on here tonight sharing this message. And yeah, I have a lot going on in my home life with my children, homeschooling, and still trying to find other ways to, make a living and keep the money flow into my home to take care of everything that needs to be taken care of. I hope you all are still encouraged. Most importantly, I know it's good to encourage or be encouraged um, by others to heal somebody else to encourage you, but you really have to encourage yourself. So be encouraged and stay, grounded in your belief system. Stay grounded in your faith and yourself as well. That you also have the capabilities within yourself to manifest whatever it is that you want to manifest, no matter what is thrown your way. As you all see from the description, I'm going to be sharing a spiritual message out of the book of Romans tonight, chapter 1. And I know excuse me, y'all, I know it's been a lot going on within yourself, within your own families as well. Maybe even, on the job. It's a lot going on right now. And it's a lot to distract you from what it is that your purpose here to do is. So just encouraging you to stay focused. um Try not to be so distracted at everything that's taking place. And yeah, stay encourage yourself and whatever it takes to bring that about. But I'm glad to be on here tonight. I just wanted to give you all a small little introduction at this time before I go into the message. I'm very happy to be able to share this message. I'm glad that God still has me with the mindset to, step out on faith and do things that are not in the norm for me to do, which is to come on here and share, more messages with you all. And as well as you see in the description, I have a description at the bottom of this video. I want you all to take some time out to check out my website, St. Petersburg Level Up Movement, to check out some of the things that, I am into, that I am trying to, um, help build up a community as well as my own family members and whoever has the ear to hear and whoever wants to be able to help bring about change and to do something good, um, to bring about something good out of everything that's taking place right now. It's a lot going on. So, and also I have a online boutique. It's called Splum Boutique. I also have a nonprofit organization, and I am donating most of my proceeds to the nonprofit organization. But I advise you to go and check out my website. Also, you can help support by shopping um, online at Splum Boutique, and that's in the description, my web address as well. So, without further ado, I am studying out of the King James Version of the Bible tonight, and we're going to be into the book of Romans. Um, in the book of Romans, it's a message from Paul, the Apostle Paul, as well as I want to share a little bit of Paul's background with you all. I know a lot of you all know, and some of you all might, not do as much research as I do on the people in the Bible, which I have. Wrote a lot of notes down on Paul and just studied more you know, of the word that I want to bring forth with you all. But Paul was, of course, an apostle. Um, he was actually called a pope. He was a pope. And this chapter that I'm reading tonight, I want to share a few things with you all. I always like to go to school within the messages to bring about a better, deeper understanding, or just to get an understanding, of what's being said. So, um, as I mentioned, Paul, after after Christ was crucified, excuse me, Paul was in jail. He was jailed for a while. He wrote letters to the church um, of Corinthians, actually, the Church of Corinthians, and the Catholic Church at that time, which is back in the 1900 BCE. It dates back, at least the information that I was able to research up on this particular uh, chapter here about the Roman Catholic Church. It says that there was a lot of problems, which are still in our time from then to now, the same issues. But the problems in the church were claims of spiritual superiority, superiority over one another, suing one another in public courts, abusing the communal meal, and sexual misbehavior. So those were some of the problems that I wanted to bring forth. As I mentioned, from then to now, this is BCE time, dated back, quote unquote. And these are some of the problems that we're having right now, in our society as well. And I'll go over that again. It says that um, some of the problems that the church were having were claims of a spiritual superiority over one another. Um, and I want to explain a little bit of that as far as in spiritual superiority over one another, which when you vibrate on a certain level, and even if you're around people that vibrates on the same level as you, um, you can get very easily sucked into other people's energy if you're not strong enough, if you're not able to, um, yeah, if you're not able to, if you don't have the strength within you. And it's a lot of things that I want to go over with you all, but it says spiritual superiority over one another, suing one another right now. I'm sure there's a lot of people that suing one another in this world. Even myself wanted to, but just to bring about different things through the message. It says in the public courts, abusing the communal meal, excuse me for that as well. And that is pretty much back in that time they had a lot of stuff going on that's probably still going on now within the church that's kind of kept quiet, and it says sexual misbehavior. So we know recent news, and even you know just recent news about different misbehaviors within the church, um and the communal meal, which is you all do communion, those of you all who indulge in communion, or really indulge in those synagogues, and call yourselves congregating around others. um yeah, those back in this BCE time, there was a lot going on. There was a lot of things that was they were doing that was just evil and wicked. And dealing with communal, which is like you say, y'all say that y'all drinking the blood of Christ, or um you eat the cracker or whatever, the bread, and say that you're eating of the flesh of God. I mean, that's, to me, I don't know about y'all, but to me that's demonic, you know, to say that you eat flesh. You're referencing to this cracker and communion or a piece of bread and saying that you're partaking in the flesh of Christ. Then you drink the blood and say, or the juice, and say that you're drinking the blood. So these are things that you all have been programmed to do in these synagogues and these church houses, and you don't even understand fully where that came from. That's why it's important for you to do your research. Um, when you study the word, study the people, study these words that they have. Um, in this Bible to bring about more understanding within your spirit. And your spirit will lead you in the way that it should go. It will let you know what to keep hold of and what not to keep hold of within the messages. And it will give you more. It will add on to your own knowledge. But I advise y'all to do your research, like really go back to school. I know I said that in a few other messages as well, but you really have to go back to school within the Word of God. And it also says that Paul wrote to the men higher ethical moral standards. Okay. I mean, I don't care what type of cannibal lifestyle that you so called have yourself or you place yourself as, my Lord. I don't care what kind of money you have and say that you sitting up here and everybody else is beneath you. Paul wrote to the men higher ethical moral standards. And I'm just saying that because I'm on the part where just thinking about, a higher demand for moral ethical standards, which there is very little of in this day and age and this timeline that we're living in, and that, we are witnessing. I myself as a witness to all of this is what's taking place. It amazes me, the standard that the people have lowered themselves to. It's such a low vibration. It's very few people of myself that vibrate on a higher frequency, on a higher level, that um, have the strength and the ability not to get sucked into this dark energy that has surfaced. So it says that um in the notes, I'm reading my notes right now. I haven't started with the message, and it's a very powerful message. I hope you guys stick around, and I'm sure that most of you come across this video. You might have heard it in a different way, but trust me, you're not going to hear this the way that I'm going to speak upon this with you all. I'm just sharing some things that I took notes of, um, as I was studying. And it also says that Paul, he wrote letters in the New Testament to address the Christian community that he had founded at Corinth, Greece, which is Corinthian. Paul's letters to the Christians was to address his concerns over the pressing issues and the rampant immorality associated with paganism. And it says this immorality had begun to infect, my Lord, had begun to infect, um, a certain type of community or a certain type of low vibrating people. It's so many people that vibrate on a lower frequency, especially with, whatever this stuff is that they're passing around, the jab, and just, yeah, it's a lot going on, especially with. I really don't want to talk about it because there's so many people that's already touched bases on it, and I really just want to stick to the message that God brought me to. So I'm not gonna talk about the things that other people are talking about of the world. You know what I'm saying? God says, be ye separated from the rest of the world. And that's exactly what I tend on doing. That's what my intent is every time that I go in deep into a meditation and receive spiritual messages and study in the word and try to bring out what is being said. I try not to associate with what's happening in the world, even though I do know what's going on. I'm not blind to the fact, but I just try not to focus on any of that. I'm staying focused and keeping my eyes on the prize, which is my light, the light that I still have within me, the source of light that is within me that, I hold dearly, eternally, that I receive everything from. So without further ado, I am studying out of the King James Version of the Bible. Is where the message is coming from the book of Romans, the first chapter of uh, the Romans chapter. So without further ado, I'm going to start with the message. So hope you guys keep up. If you have any questions, I have the comment section open. And also you can, get your Bible out and follow along with me as well. So it says to the Romans. And Paul, verse 1 says, Paul, a servant of Jesus Christ, called to be an apostle, separated unto the gospel of God. So, from what you all know about, Paul being one of the 12 disciples of Christ, who actually turned on him at the end and then was jailed, and then so-called tried to convert himself. He was a pope in the Roman Catholic Church. And when they say Paul, a servant of Jesus Christ, called to be an apostle, separated unto the gospel of God. And Paul was also a very young man as well. Timothy was a young man. A lot of the apostles, they were very young in age. Christ died at supposedly what they say was 33 years of age. And Timothy, I know for a fact, Timothy was like 21 years of age. So I suspect that the younger generation that followed Christ, they were of a young age, a younger age. So I just wanted to bring that out. And it says that he was separated unto the gospel of God. So when I look at that, as I just mentioned about being separate from the world, or when Jesus came into the picture, they might have had a different belief system. As most of you all have probably heard this message or read this yourselves, and then, to have someone come along that might pinpoint something that you wouldn't understand within the scriptures. So it's when it says to be separated unto the gospel of God. So he could have been doing or having a belief in one system. And then when this belief system came about, as you see so often in these allegories in this book, um, also with the story of Solomon and Queen Sheba had a different belief system, and Solomon was able to convert her over into this belief system. So when it says that Paul the apostle separated unto the gospel of God, so that's what I mean. And that's why I brought up the differentiation of, you know, a belief system being one way, but then when sound doctrine or truth comes in, there's no way you can deny it or try to fight it. You submit to it. If it resonates with your spirit, you're going to submit to it, is basically what I want to say. So verse 2 says, which he had promised afore by his prophets in the Holy Scriptures. Verse 3 says, concerning his son, Jesus Christ, our Lord, which was made of the seed of David according to the flesh. So the seed of David according to the flesh. And I know in a few other of my videos, when I went over light versus darkness, one of the few first messages I believe I shared with you all, or maybe the second message out of the book of Genesis, um, when it says the seed of David, um, he says, concerning his son, Jesus Christ, our Lord, which was made of the seed of David according to the flesh. According to the flesh. So, in the creation process, we start from our mother's. I call my children my seedlings, because they came from my seeds. My seeds being my ovaries, my eggs, my seedlings. And it says that concerning his son Jesus Christ, this is verse 3 chapter 1 of Romans, according to the flesh. So I was having a conversation not too long ago about um the spirit is older than the flesh. The spirit is older than the mind. I know a lot of people might, they look at the mind, and the mind, having to do with the third eye. But if our spirit is everlasting, your mind, people lose their minds every day, especially the older you get. You know, they have all type of Alzheimer's, dementia, just even certain type of stress that people fold under pressure and can't deal with. They lose their minds every day, have anxiety, especially with everything that's going on now with these mandates and everything that you might be seeing and all this and all that. It's a lot. It's a lot. So you really have to have a strong mindset. So I believe, and I'm just bringing this up, but I believe that the spirit is very old. Our spirit, our spirit is very experienced. Our spirit um is definitely older than the flesh and more powerful than the mind. The spirit feeds the mind. The spirit feeds your body. You know, if it were not for the spirit you have within you. And I know some people, they walk around with barren souls, a barren soul, meaning an empty vessel with no light within them. So, yes, I do know that. Or they have no light and they have a darkness within them, you know? So, what I wanted to get at within that about the spirit and the mind, the conversation that I was having recently about, the mind. I know the mind is important because the mind is very important. The mind is a terrible thing to waste, because if you lose your mind, you lose yourself. You lose yourself, you know. And once the mind goes, I'm a healthcare professional. I've seen this over the years. Once the mind goes, the body is close to following, meaning non-existence anymore. Once your mind goes, um, I've seen it with Alzheimer's, dementia, after they experience that, or those couple of things that I just mentioned about Alzheimer's and dementia. They don't have a long after that, not too long after that, it's the body will fade away as well. So I said that to say that it's definitely the spirituality, your internal light that's within you, that is stronger than any force that you can ever reckon with, or that it's very powerful. It's very powerful. And it's very important for you all to make sure that you don't dim your light. Okay, that you don't let the troubles of the world dim your light, nor the people, nor your family members, your children, your mate, anyone. Don't let anyone dim your light, and take that light that you have within you, um, because that's your source of energy. That is what's going to keep you strong. That's what's going to keep your mind fed. Okay, your spirituality, it plays a very important role, especially right now in these dark times that we're living in right now in this timeline. And I just wanted to, just share a little bit of that. um that was verse 3 of the first chapter of Romans. And the fourth verse says, and declared to be the Son of God with power according to the Spirit of holiness by the resurrection from the dead. So we all know that, Christ was crucified, and he rose a few days later. He rose again, um, as well. And also, dealing with the flesh, you cannot, the flesh is just the shell, you know, a shell for the spirit to operate in, you know, and you can't kill your spirit. The spirit never dies. And if the spirit never dies, and you understand what this light is that you have within inside of you, the flesh is just the shell. The spirit is the spirit that lives on forever, you know. So when verse 4 says, and declared to be the Son of God with power according to the Spirit of holiness by the resurrection from the dead. And that is for all of us with a light. When this shell drops, when the body dies, and what they're saying, I want to go over the resurrection of Christ for a moment. When it says, verse 4 says, and declared to be the Son of God with the power according to the Spirit of holiness by resurrection from the dead. Okay. Um, Resurrection from the dead. As I said, we all will experience that verse there. All of us with our souls still intact when this shell dies. Do you understand that your spirituality, as I was just mentioning to you, the stronger you are, and the more closer you are to God and to the Creator, um, the more stronger your light source within you is. I remember hearing a story from within my family line about the resurrection of Christ. And also, as a witness myself, when someone dies, their spirit depends on who they are and what their spirituality is and how strong their spirit was. Okay, they can die, and their spirits and their essence of who they were and what their spirit is strong. So when they say Christ was resurrected, they were able to see him in the spirit form outside of the body, because the body is just a shell, but the spirit form of him, um is what the resurrection was. And I believe it might be later on in Romans. Yeah, that's in the back of Romans as well. Tonight I'm just going to do one chapter with you all to kind of, you know, get back in tune with you all on this spiritual journey, and just to help spiritually give empowerment wherever and whoever has a ear to hear, and as well as for myself, as well, to help um, reach one person or anything like that. It's a blessing to me to be able to reach whoever I can reach. But the resurrection. as I mentioned about the body being a shell and that we will all experience that, those of us with this eternal light within us, those of us who vibrate on a higher frequency, um, once you leave this fleshly form, your spirit still lives on. Your spirit is very powerful, and I've witnessed it myself, and also in this Bible, they witnessed it too when they speak about the resurrection. Christ rose from the dead. No, that was the flesh, but they didn't understand that, or maybe they did, and they just put it in this book the way that they put it in this book. Okay, but that is when the body dies and the soul is still alive. The soul rises from the dead, which is your shell, this flesh, this fleshly form. Your soul will rise. And spirits, some spirits are so powerful, so strong, okay, on a higher frequency, that they would come to you in and you would think that it's in a fleshly form. That's how strong some spirits or some of the auras of different people, of certain spirits are, that you would look at, and I've seen it with, I'm a witness of this. I've I can't tell you how I have this ability, or you know I can say because I vibrate on a higher frequency. I can say because a few other reasons as well. But it's spiritual gifts. We all have different spiritual gifts, and verse 4 says, and declare it to be the Son of God with the power according to the Spirit of holiness by the resurrection from the dead. The dead, meaning the body leaves, the spirit leaves the shell, which is your sackcloth. In the Bible, they call your flesh a sackcloth. Yeah. Um, for the spirit to do its business here for whatever purpose you may be here for. I hope that you all find that purpose of why you're here, as well as myself coming into the fullness of my purpose, and being able to um, rise on a higher frequency within my purpose to show the world, and share the world of this truth. But the resurrection, as I said, those of you all that, operate with a light still within inside of you, which is your soul, with that light that's still within inside of you, the resurrection, as I mentioned, you'll experience that too. Especially the stronger you are, and how I know that I've seen spirits before in their flesh form that looked it like a flesh form, but I know that we buried these people. I've seen them get put in the dirt, you know what I'm saying, so to speak, get buried, the burial process, be in the casket, and I've seen them in their spirit form, which looks like a fleshly form. So some spirits are so powerful that you can't even tell, whether it's in the fleshly form. If you're not in your right mind, is that in the flesh? No, because you probably, I'm speaking for my own self. I knew that these were their spirits, and I knew they were good people. Most of them were good people as well, whether it was my family member or whoever. And for me to be able to lay eyes on them after they left their sackcloth and we buried them, and I was able to lay eyes on them and receive visits from them, and on a few occasions even speak to them, um, I knew they were in their a spirit form. They were in the spiritual realm, which is more powerful. In the spiritual realm, they can communicate with us, as well as some people use Ouija boards and all kind of other black magic stuff, which I'm not into, to talk to the dead. But in my own experience, I never asked for them to come to me, to come back, because my family, we were raised, let the dead, be dead, as far as in, um, you know, my mother, I don't visit graveyards. I don't do any of that. I don't visit graveyards or any of that. I still, the memory of them, it is still within me. You know, the memory of the people that I've lost in my lifetime, I still hold them near and dear, and a reason of that, because they come to me as well as I come to them in thought. And the spiritual realm, it's more powerful. They have more abilities to do more things that, some of us are just awakening our spiritual powers too, because we have spiritual powers, um, and different spiritual abilities, and not everyone have the same abilities, and some of us do, and some of us can operate those spiritual abilities, um, um, can work them better than others, or can wake them up within ourselves, to be able to use them, or to be able to communicate, or the spirits on the other side in the spiritual realm. And I say on the other side, but they're everywhere. um I don't want to get caught up in that, but I just wanted to just elaborate a little bit about verse 4 of the first chapter of Romans, about the resurrection, and later on in the book of Romans, toward the end of this book, before it goes on to another episode in this book, for another timeline, it tells you that, um, there was a covenant that was taken, that, and it says that, but I know for myself that, you know, um, in the process of creation and everything, that dealt with the creation, that the spirit was here first. It operated first, and then, um, this prism, the body, the sackcloth that the spirit operates in, was created, and then, you know, the creation of man was made. But I just said that to say, as far as in the resurrection, for them to say he rose again, that was because, as it said a little bit, it says the and declared to be the Son of God with the power according to his spirit of holiness by the resurrection from the dead. So that part, that's my son, y'all. He was feeling bad a few, actually 1 week ago, last week, he was feeling bad, but he's back to himself. He's probably getting tired. He's a little rider. He like to stay up late. Um, but anyhow, that's him crying downstairs with my oldest daughter. I don't know if y'all can hear it too, but the resurrection, we will all be able to resurrect when we drop from this shell, this sackcloth, this flesh form. We will also, our spirit will also rise to the occasion. Okay. And depends on how strong your spirituality is, or how you feed your spirit. Okay. If your spirit resonates with your spirituality, and not on a negative level, on a more positive level, the more positive, the more powerful and spiritual you are, the more knowledgeable you are to, these things, as I mentioned about the resurrection, and certain things that we see, that I'm a witness of. I've talked to spirits that I know that look like they were still in the fleshly form. That's what I'm saying with Christ. I stopped and paused on this because it resonates with my soul. It resonates with my truth. It resonates with my own eyes. I've witnessed this in my flesh, within my spirit, to know better. So I know a lot of you all can't resonate with what I'm saying right now, or maybe haven't experienced the same thing. We all have different experiences, but the more you are in tune into yourself, and the more higher up on a higher frequency you become, the more knowledgeable, the more understanding, the more in depth, in tune you are with your inner self, the more your inner self will speak to you and teach you more, because it's old. Your spirit is old within you. Your spirit is very experienced. The flesh. That's why when they say we're born into the world of sin, we're born into the world of sin because the flesh is the sin. Us being in this fleshly form is a sin. This is what makes you the spirit. You have to. I like to say this term. You have. I pray on this level, and I speak to God on this level when I ask him to manifest my spirit on top of my flesh, because I trust my spirit. It never stood me wrong. It always protect me and try to guide me, and that's your intuition as well. Every time you want to go left, your spirit within you tells you nope, go right. And your flesh sometimes, from my own experience, and I know from some of you all, you differentiate from your tuition, and you do that, and you say, I should have listened to my first mindset, which is your tuition, which is your spirit speaking to you, trying to keep you on one accord with the spirit, trying to help the flesh behave. So pray the same prayer I ask. I talk to God as well as my inner self, and tell myself, hey, I need to operate more of my spirit on top of my flesh, and feed more of my spirit good things, things that will help, um, feed my flesh. And another word for feeding your flesh is manna, manna. That's spiritual food. You have to feed your spirit as much as you feed your flesh, whatever things you lust after of in this world, whatever material things that you're into in this world. um you have to feed your spirit, not the same thing that you feed your flesh, because your spirit don't take all that in. Your spirit don't want that. Your spirit rebuke whatever it want to rebuke, and also your spirit will remove itself from you. God will remove himself from within you, if you operate or vibrate on such a low level. You subject yourself when you operate and vibrate on a lower frequency. You subject yourself to walk in spirits. You know, when you operate on different types of substances that, don't resonate with your spirit, that's no good for you. You have no ability to fight off those walk-in spirits, that comes and takes over you. Like when people drink, and you see how people act when they have too much alcohol. That's because they're vibrating on a lower frequency at that moment, and they have no power within them to resist or push back, to fight back those walk-in spirits. So you have to be very careful. you know you have to be very careful. But I don't want to take too much time out. I hope that, you all are, working with me right now. I know I be, but I'm gonna get into it. I just like to explain as I should explain. um Verse 5 says, by whom we have received grace and apostleship for the obedience of the faith among all nations for his name. Verse 6 says, among whom are ye also called of Jesus Christ, to all that be in Rome, beloved of God, called to be the saints. Glory be to God. Called to be the saints, grace to you and peace from God your Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Verse 8 says, first I thank my God, Jesus Christ, for all. that your faith is spoken of throughout the whole world. Glory be to God. For God is my witness, whom I serve with my spirit, with my spirit, okay, with my spirit in the gospel of his Son, that without ceasing I make mention of you always in my prayers. Amen. Verse 10 says, making requests, if by any means now at length I might have a prosperous journey by the will of God to come unto you. Amen. And that is I want to pause right there for a minute. It says, making a request by all means now at length I might have a prosperous journey by the will of God to come unto you. For I long to see you, that I might impart unto you some spiritual gifts, to the end ye may be established. Okay, and that is what I would like to do to you by the grace of God, to help you awaken some of your spiritual gifts, or help you be able to, just find what it is you need to find in whatever material, as far as in teaching wise, that it will take to awaken your spiritual gifts, that you may keep your light, the light with the of God, which is eternal, your light within you, to return back into the heavens from which we were came, that we were sent here in this fleshly form, that you can't return to where you come from. The spirit, you won't return where you come from without your spirit within you. So it says, for I long to see you, that I may impart unto you some spiritual gifts. Okay, some spiritual manna, some food for your soul. Okay, to the end ye may be established, you know, to the end. When he says to the end, that means, to me, it say, out of everything that's thrown your way, you have to fight a good fight. You have to be established and set upright, where you don't fall, you don't bend, you don't break, you're not so easily tempted. You can stand firm on the foundation that God, set up on for you to stand on, which he built this foundation within us, to stand on, to conquer everything, you know. So I just wanted to go over that. Verse 12 says that I may be confronted together with you by the mutual faith of both you and me. Verse 13 of Romans chapter 1 says, now I would not have you ignorant, brethren, that oftentimes I proposed to come unto you, but was let hitherto, that I might have some fruit amongst you also, even among other Gentiles. So in that sense, as I'm doing, I pray, I'm hopeful for that God using my vessel, my spirit right now, to be able to touch whoever I can touch. He says, verse 13, I like that. I like that verse. It's very real to me. Says, now that I will not have you ignorant, brethren. And it resonates with my spirit, because I know that God says that if we were all created on one vibrational level, on one frequency, on a certain frequency, the sound that I've been hearing since I was a little girl, and maybe you too. It says, one sound, one nation. You hear it on certain commercials and everything else. One sound, one nation. And my spirit resonates with that. And it also resonates with, I will not have you ignorant, brother, that oftentimes I propose to come unto you, but was left hitherto. that I might have some fruit among you, meaning, amongst you other Gentiles, that we all on certain levels, most levels, that we all operate on one accord, that we all have the same understanding on certain different levels, that we all vibrate on one frequency. In the process of creation of the creation of the spirit and of the creation of the flesh, it was one frequency. We were all vibrating on different on a higher frequency of being created. And also in the book of Corinthians, also it tells something about, maybe I can find it real quick because it's the next chapter after Romans. I just want to touch bases right here. Verse 11 of chapter 1 of Corinthians says, I'm going to start at 10 and then I'm going to go back into Romans. It says, now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that ye all speak the same, that there be no division amongst you. Why? When we were created on the same frequency. How people, how you resonate with other people, and how sometimes you could say, oh, they took the words right out of my mouth, or somebody says something, and it's something that you've said before, and they not even heard what you said, but y'all resonate on the same frequency. Like somebody could be talking about this over here, and then you turn the book on that page, and this person is talking about the same thing, but they might verbalize it in a different way. So that's why I got excited. My spirit within me got excited on that level, because I truly understand when God says that we all should be on one accord. Go back over that Corinthians verse 10, and I'm going to go down to verse 10 and 11 of first chapter Corinthians. It says, now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that ye all speak the same. That ye all speak the same. You mean to tell me that, everybody call themselves a child of God or a child of whoever, whether it's your mama or your daddy, if you want to use that, if you're not, resonating on this spiritual level with me. But you a child of somebody, and if you were born in a household with other siblings, um, you know, as well as within my own family as well. At one point, we all vibrate on the same frequency because we came from the same breastbone. And he said, I will have no division amongst you. When we were little, there was no division amongst me and my family members. It wasn't until, we separated and grew up and started interacting with other people where the separation came in, because of different influences. But as long as we stay close knitted, we dressed the same, we talked the same, we did the same things, everything resonated on the same frequency until other people got involved, outside people. Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that we all speak the same thing. And I see people on YouTube arguing about this. Who said this first? Who said that? Not knowing when God say we all his, we all resonate with the same, on the same frequency, on the same level. So you're going to have somebody that say this over here, they might sound similar to that over there. When information is out here, or when you tapping into your soul, or what is ever going on in this spiritual realm that we're in right now, on this spiritual level, that it's a lot of people going to be resonating with the same type of energy, with the same type of spirit, especially if they vibrating on the same frequency. So when you vibrate on the same level as somebody else, you can expect similarities. And when people see similarities nowadays, they get standoffish, they get upset, because I see something over there in that person that's similar to me, when that's what should bring you together, those similarities. But a lot of people don't understand that, because they all about competition, trying to compete with one another. you know, and that's that slave mentality, to want to compete with your brother, with your sister, to want to be you know, to want to have, to be egotistic is, yeah, that's the word I want to use. To have such a big ego that say, "Oh, that's mine. I can't." No, when this information out here for everybody, when we living on this same, in this same timeline, whatever's going on this planet spiritually, what's ever happening, it's not happening just to you. It's not just happening to them. It's happening to a lot of other people that vibrate on the same frequency. Just like the people that resonate on a lower frequency, trust and believe, they're experiencing some of the same things too on that lower frequency. So it's levels to everything in this world, in this life. On a spiritual level, it's different levels. In heaven, it's different levels of creation. You know, it's different levels. You're not going to be on one level by yourself. And I wish some people would get that. Honest to God, I do, because it's a lot of egotistic stuff going on, man. A lot of narcissist behavior and activities within yourselves that's going on, that's saying, "Hey, oh, I came up with this. I can't, you ain't, it ain't nothing new up underneath the sun, baby. Everything that's being done has been repeated." So you're not, you ain't saying nothing that ain't been said before. You might, and neither am I. I'm just, I have a different delivery. We're not of the same character, but we do vibrate on the same frequency, most of us. And I can say, I'm not selfish. I'm not um so caught up in ego and to claim this and to claim that. If I said anything and somebody resonates with that, and they reiterate what was said, and they could bring on, define something better than I can, that's great. That's great. But a lot of people get knocked down and start chaos and add on to more problems that we don't need. When you see similarities, that should bring you together. That's a familiar spirit. But you know, whatever the world has done to you as a individual, that you know, you want to be all in that category by yourself. Nobody don't, I'm this, I'm that. And that's not the way you should be, because one more time, and then I'm gonna go back into Romans, and it just referenced to what I was just speaking on, out of Romans. "Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that ye all speak the same thing, that there be no division amongst you, no jealousy, no this, no that, no nothing, you know, but there be perfectly, but that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind, in the same judgment." Verse 11 says, "For it hath been declared unto me of you, my brethren, by them which are of the house of Chloe, that there are contentions amongst you." And I'll go back over here to where it says, "Now I would not have you ignorant, brethren, for oftentimes I propose to come unto you, but excuse me, but was let hitherto, that I might have some fruit among you," meaning I might have some like-minded people like myself, you know. But a lot of people want to be all in the same, they think they're in the same category all by themselves, when you're not. Because, for instance, just to go in a little depth, and I'm sure you all understand. Take hairstylists and barbers, right? They all have the same talent, right? But you got this barber that might be able to fade good. You got this beautician that might be able to do shortcuts and style short hair better. This one over here do the same thing, but she might be better in braiding or something like that, you know. But they all have the same talents, but their different techniques are unique, where it might be, you know, better displayed, you know, through this talent or that talent, you know. It says that I might have some that I might have some fruit amongst you also, and other Gentiles. So I just brought that out to speak on that because that's what my spirit resonates in the message when I heard that, to bring that out, that you're going to have people that have the ability to do the same thing, might have the same talents, but you might have a different niche than this person over here. They might be better than you on this particular style that you're doing, and this person might have, and you yourself might have a different niche. I do hair. Where I live, it was a lot of competition of different hair. A lot of people say I'm good with braids. A lot of people say they come to me for shortcuts, and they go to this person for other things that this person might be good at. And I could agree because I used to let other hairstylists do my hair as well. So if you understand that much, drop your egos. You feel me? Drop your egos. Not saying lower yourself, just drop your ego as far as in try to resonate with all the things that's wrong and how we have not been able to, come together as a people. Like God said, you know, um, there should not be any division amongst us. You know, when it's competition, when people look at you as a threat instead of, saying, oh, that's a familiar spirit. Nobody looks at each other and say, hey, that's a familiar spirit anymore. It's, oh, competition. Oh, they see you as a threat, you know, and not a familiar spirit. I love to see familiar spirits. I love to listen to other people. And when I hear them speak and I listen to what they're saying and it resonates with my spirit, as far as in familiar, I'm on one accord with that spirit. So, verse 14, it says, I am a debtor both to the Greeks and to the barbarians, both to the wise and to the unwise. It says, I am a debtor to the Greeks and the barbarians, which we know the Greeks. Y'all got to do y'all research on these people. The Greeks, they started those. Y'all might have seen the movie. Was it the Guardians? It's like a old, not an old movie, but it's something that's called the Guardians, where it was like in this particular time, but in this movie they had a few black men, but what was taking place here, and I did my research. I researched some information out of a college from Mississippi College. I wish I would have printed it out too tonight, but I did not. So please forgive me for that. I have to get back with you on that. Or y'all could do the research yourselves about I was researching circumcision because chapter 2, when I got to chapter 2 of Romans, it spoke about that, and I wanted to do more research, and I found more research on this. But when you hear about the arenas, they used to take young black boys, which they still do now in arenas, whether it be basketball or football, as Colin Kaepernick, this little thing he got on Netflix, which I haven't watched the whole thing, but my children watched it and they like it. I haven't had time to watch it all myself. I just seen like trailers of it, and this one part in the little his documentary that I've seen, where they do a flashback of the slave days when they would sell the black men. They would have them up and have them stretch out their arms and let the white buyer, see how strong and stuff they might have been and stuff like that. They would have them lift their arms out, and they're doing that as they trying out for football. They check their physique. They make them do all kind of athletic tests or ability tests to see, test their endurance and stuff like that. That's exactly what's going on. So I just spoke about that, but I'm not gonna get stuck on that. The Greeks and the barbarians, okay, they were some people. They were some people, both wise and unwise. Verse 15 says, so as much as in me, I am ready to preach the gospel to you that are at Rome also. Verse 16 says, For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto unto salvation to every one that believeth, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek. Verse 17 says, therein is righteousness of God revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, the just shall live by faith. Glory be to God. The just shall live by faith. I always walk by faith and not by sight, because I understand that all the time it's not the things that you can see with your physical eye that you should be paying attention to. It's the things that, are going on around you even now, that you can't see with your physical eye, that the spirit is also fighting and working against to keep you, you know what I'm saying, protected and out of harm's way as well. Chapter 1 of Romans, I'm on verse 18, says, for the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness. Verse 19 says, because that which may be known of God is manifest in them, for God hath showed it unto them. Verse 20 says, for the invisible things, as I just told y'all, as far as in when it said in verse 17, wherein the righteousness of God revealed from faith to faith, as in it is written, the just shall live by faith. Walk by faith and not by sight, because the God we serve, he's eternal. So you have to walk by faith and not by sight, meaning you trust God. You trust your God from within you eternally. You trust him. You walk by faith and not by sight. In the sense where it says, because which, verse 19, because that which may be known is manifested in them. Walk by faith and not by sight, because that which may be known of God is manifested within you. Your spirit is of God. Your spirit manifests within you. Okay, that's your spirit. You can't God is saying he's an eternal God. You walk by faith and not by sight. You trust God and go within yourself, you know what I'm saying, eternally, to tap into more of him, to get to know him spiritually on a spiritual level, to allow him to order your steps and lead you down the pathway and keep you, as I mentioned before, about your intuition. You not knowing where that come from, where your intuition come from. That's the source of God within you, trying to keep you on one accord, trying to keep you from falling down that dark path, trying to keep you from traveling down that dark road. So that resonates with me. Walk by faith and not by sight. I want to go over 17 again. Actually, 16. For I am not ashamed. Glory be to God. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to every one that believeth, to the Jew first, and to the Greek. Verse 17 says, for therein the righteousness of God revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, that the just shall live by faith. Say that again. Walk by faith and not by sight. And why? Okay, let's read on to find out why. It says, for the wrath of God is revealed from the heavens against all ungodliness and the unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness. Meaning, a lot of people know the truth. A lot of people know the word of God and know whatever they know, but they'll feed you half behind of it. Or they'll give you what they want to give you of it and not the full truth, and say, no, I ain't gonna get them too much because whatever reason. Why? I don't want to share this with them. I ain't gonna give them too much. As the scripture says somewhere in the Bible, I can't quote it out now, but it just resonates with, don't feed all your pearls to the swine. You know the swine when you see the swine. You know the ungodly and the unrighteous. Of course, you don't feed your pearls to ungodliness and unrighteousness. Those who have an ear to hear, those that are eager to learn, those that are manifesting the same thing that you manifest, those that are familiar spirits to you. It says, verse 19, because which may be known of God is manifested in them, for God hath showed it unto them. Verse 20 says, for the invisible things of him from the creation of the world, invisible. Okay, that resonates with the spirit of God. It says of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood. Glory be to God, being understood by the things that are made, even his internal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. There is no excuse. Amen. You ain't got no excuse when you resonate with the light of God within you. When God said he gave you the power, when he gave you your light in this fleshly form that we in, and say, go and manifest whatever it is I tell you to manifest, or whatever it is that I put within you to manifest within your spirit, to go and manifest that and multiply that on a greater scale. Verse 21 of Romans chapter 1, it says, because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain. Say they wasn't thankful, they became vain, and their imaginations and their foolish hearts were darkened. A lot of people, as I was just saying in the beginning, about this conversation I was having not too long ago about the mind. The mind, it's a terrible thing to waste. The mind creates different illusions. The mind corrupts. The mind causes corruptions. The mind wants to take over the space that the soul resonates in. If you let your mind control your soul, which you can't, honest to God, you can't. But it says, I want to go back over 21. It says, because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and foolish hearts were darkened. We walk among the dead every day. They walk in the fleshly form upright and everything else, but they don't have light within inside of them. And you could tell the ones that operate in the dark, or that has a barren soul, just a shell that's empty with no light within them. God has removed himself. He removed his source of light from within them, because they've operated on such a foolish, as the scripture says, in a darkened level, on such a wicked, evil, dark place, that that's all they have within inside of them now is darkness. Verse 22 says, professing themselves to be wise, my Lord, they became fools. I know a lot of fools that profess themselves to be wise, which resonates, and that I could see the darkness over them, just like they could see the light of God still within me. And they hate to be around the ones that still has that light. They only resonate and want to operate with the ones that are dark as themselves. Sometimes, I ain't gonna say sometimes, what I've learned, that if your light still shines within you, you can't resonate with the other side, the people that operate in the darkness, because they're gonna try to take you out. They want you dead like they is. They want to snatch your soul from without of you, just like theirs gone and empty. So if you're not strong enough to be watchful and just don't indulge with people that you see have a barren soul. Don't operate with no light within them. I don't care if they family or not. Trust me, it's been a hard pill that I had to swallow within my own family as well, within different relationships, but most importantly, my own family as well. I've had to separate myself from the ones that I see that operate in the dark, the ones that, they job is to try to take you out. Okay? The devil gonna use them to get to you, because he already got control over them. That's why he able to use them and make them his subjects to be used of the devil. Verse 22 says, professing themselves wise. They could speak just like we speak. Some of them dark ones, they know better because they didn't always operate in that dark side. But whatever took place in their life, they know better. They could speak the same way we speak. They became fools. So don't you become no fool up underneath these dark ones. Don't know how to separate yourself from the dark when you operate in the light. They want to feed off your light. They want to feed off your energy. Okay? And that I've seen that happen before too, where somebody was around, this young man was around one of my baby daddies. And I got another family member that operate in the dark, but they're powerful, but not more powerful than the light source of me, because I grew up with them and I've been in the same household with, what I'm saying, my baby dad, and he was not able to bring me down on that dark level. Matter of fact, I fought against it. I fought against him. I tried to help him, but it's already too late for him. And I watched this young man that he was became friends with, was fresh out of the prison system, very young man, much had a bright future and everything else. And I watched him come around, and my baby daddy, and I used to tell him, you older than him, you should be feeding him, good things. You know what I'm saying? Lead him a good way. Don't bring him down. And this young man wind up dead because my baby daddy wouldn't tell him right from wrong, knowing he was sitting up underneath. I saw that he took a liking to my son's father, because he was an older man. It might have been some similarities that they had, whatever. Or instead of my baby daddy being an older male figure to this young man, he brought him down and took his life right from out of him. And I used to tell, after this happened, I left my baby daddy alone too, because I watched this happen. I watched this young man come around him, and the things that they was indulged in, I would get on both of them. I would get on both of them. And my baby daddy, his dark side, for this young man, he couldn't fight it. It was so strong that he got sucked right into my son's father energy, which my son just turned 3 years old. And children, they always speak the truth. Their spirit, they just came from heaven. You know what I'm saying? So my son know better. Like, he don't even deal with his dad at 3 years old on that level. And I don't allow it neither, because I even told my baby daddy, I seen what you did to that young man. You're not finna do that to my son. I won't have it. Just as sure as I'm on earth and living and breathing, my baby daddy, he dealing with a lot of demons. I don't know what he was dealing with before we got together. And when we got together, I was not always this way. I've, you know, I've been in the street life. I've done different things that, um, in the beginning of our being acquainted with one another, it was okay for me to be around him. But um, once I began to change and just do better for myself, I didn't want to indulge anymore And I just spoke on that because of this, say, but they speak wise and became foolish, and how the heart was darkened, how they imagine different things that, and how powerful spirits are. They can suck you right into their energy, and someone will take you out and swallow you whole. I've watched this happen within my own family member with a sister of mine and her children. You know, I watched I witnessed some things, and still being a witness to a lot of things that's taking place. But I know, but I'm still powerful because I'm more powerful than them. You know what I'm saying? Those dark ones, because I know how to separate myself. I know how to build myself up spiritually. In the book of Genesis, God says He gave us power over those snakes, those creepy, crawly things, those tillers of the ground, those reptilians and stuff like that, those different other species. And I'm going to just say this too. Y'all, as well as myself, I had to tell myself, look, some people look like us, but they ain't for us. We ain't all the same species. We not of the same species. Y'all better quit indulging and mixing with these different other species, because they're not like you. And once you get a whiff of somebody not being on your level, don't keep them around you when they ain't on your level. Honest to God, you're gonna set yourself up for failure, or what I'm saying, you're gonna set them up to be able to find a way to take you out or to knock you off your foundation that God say, I put you up on this foundation. I set you up on high. You know what I'm saying, on this frequency. Don't let them bring you down on their low frequency. You know what I'm saying? Because the higher your frequency, the higher you gonna elevate. The higher you elevate, the higher your spirit gonna rise. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm coming from within that. But I've watched a lot of and I just spoke on a few things that I spoke on because of verse 21 and verse 22. It says, because verse 21 of Romans chapter 1, it says, because that when they knew God, they glorified him not. I'm telling you, my baby daddy, I watch different people. Oh, I know God. They know how to speak this just like I'm speaking it to y'all. They know how to speak it, let me tell you, but they wolves in sheep clothing. They dark ones. You got to be real on you got to be prayed up. You know what I'm saying? You got to know better for yourself. You got to trust your inner self. When your inner self say don't fool with no people, don't care who they is, whether your family members, your whoever, your spouse, your mate, if God say let go, it's time to let go. Don't hang on to nothing you ain't supposed to be hanging on to. Let me tell you. Says, but it says God need, because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful. You ever done something for somebody and you gotta be like, well, you ain't gonna say thank you? You know what I'm saying? Or have somebody ask you for something and you don't get no thank you. You know what I'm saying? Or just anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? As far as in resonating with, you know what I'm saying? It says, because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither thankful. You don't been around some ungrateful people. You know what I'm saying? People that you could do something, you could bend over backwards for them, you could get them your shirt off your back, and they won't say thank you. You could be cold as I don't know what, and ain't no thank you coming out their mouth, or I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? They don't operate like that. But it became vain in their imaginations. People have a terrible, they imagine that they killing you. They imagine that they getting over on you. And all in the while, you could be sitting back looking at these people like, what a fool, as the scripture said. But became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish hearts were darkened. As I mentioned, these ungrateful people, these unthankful people, that's unthankful, you know. They imagine all kind of things they getting over on you. They ain't doing nothing but hurting themselves and drawing themselves back lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. They ain't gonna never rise up. They ain't gonna never rise for the occasion neither, on a spiritual level. Verse 22 says, professing themselves to be wise, but became fools. As I mentioned, you know what I'm saying? They think they so wise. You ever been around people that swear they so knowledgeable that they kicking so much game to you, or just, you know, or teaching you, whatever you need to be, whatever they thinking in their own mind. They imagining that they spin this kind of game that they got you over, and they could just keep on talking and rambling on. Nah, I got them, my Lord. And you one of them people like me. If you one of them people like me, I'll be looking at them like, look, not me, not now, not ever, not today, not today. My spirit don't resonate with that. I'm not a person that's closed mouth. I'm a person that, I speak up when need to be speak up. I know I don't have to fight, excuse me, every battle verbally. I don't have to go against everyone. I don't have to go against every person that says something to me out the way. I don't have to go against that. You know, I don't have to fight my battles alone, because I know that God already, when God give you a certain type of spiritual eye, you can look at a person and they ain't worth your time a day to even taunt, wrestle, or try to even think you can make them see what you see. It ain't even worth it. And God will give you that spiritual eye, and just that knowing that don't waste your time. They already lost. Verse 23, it says, and change to the glory of the uncorruptible, and change the glory of the uncorruptible God unto an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds, and four-footed beasts, and creepy things. I'll read that again. It says, and change the glory. Now, mind you, he's talking about these dark-hearted people, these foolish people, these dark-hearted peoples, these people professing themselves to be wise, but are really fools. In verse 23 says, and change the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man, to birds and four-footed beasts and creepy crawly things. Verse 24 says, wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanliness. God also gave them up to uncleanliness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. My Lord, God says he gave them up to their own lust, to their own dishonorable, their own bodies. He say, wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanliness through the lust of their own hearts. Okay. And I went over this on one of my Facebook videos, which I want to bring to you all as well, which I will share about lust. Most people think that lust is just, a sexual lust. No, you can lust over materialistic things. You can lust over different things in this world. You can lust after people. You can lust for sex. You can lust for material things in this world. You can lust after everything, a lot of everything. And it's not just a sexual type of lusting thing that's going on. So if you take the time out to define what lust is, lust of their own heart, to dishonor their own bodies, to be between themselves. Verse 25 says, to change the truth of God into a lie. And that's what's going on today, especially in the gay community, who turned the truth. And this is what this particular chapter is talking about. He gave them up to uncleanliness and the lust after their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. Men lusting, becoming lovers of themselves. Not, oh, look at me in the mirror. No, men lusting for other men, women lusting for other women, men and women changing their sex or their appearance to say, hey, I don't. Women saying, uh, uh, I don't want to be with men no more, but you want to take on the look as a man. You despise the man for whatever reason. You say you despise the men, that you want to go against God's natural law and natural order of things, that he the reason of him creating man and woman to procreate, to recreate, to keep his creation fruitful and to be multiplied, that you would say no, you would become lovers of yourselves, men loving on other men and women loving on other women, and saying that men saying that they don't want to be with a woman, but you want to take on the look of a woman. So those are some psychological issues. I find that very strange and very odd that, you know, the gay community, and I just say community because right now in this generation, in this timeline that we're in, they want to say like they just, like they're a whole nother group of people. No, the gay community have all different nationalities, all different walks of life, all different type of species within the gay community that make up all the people. Okay? I got gay people in my family. I'm sure those of you that come across this video, you have gays in your family, but that agenda is overshadowing everything. Like they're saying, oh, discrimination this. Well, what about the blacks getting discriminated against on? Those of you all that indulge in this propaganda and this particular agenda that they have going on to overshadow the real issues, to make up this to give to place the gay community at the head of this propaganda, at this agenda, and that community is not even fighting back for the people, because you are a part of us, whether you're different or not, whether you feel different inside or not, because you're not different. You're not different. You are what you are, and you create yourself to whoever you want to be. Just like as a child, we grow up, they say you could be whoever you want to be. And y'all just took that in a literal sense and ran with that. And nowadays you have parents that are at a young age with their children saying, oh, my child doesn't want to identify as this. If you got a certain type of private part, I mean, for a parent to put that on a child, that's psychological to me. That's I don't agree with that, because you're not giving this younger generation a chance. This younger generation is being influenced by mentally unstable people, even in the gay community. And I'm just speaking this is the chapter that we're on. I'm going to come real hard on this particular concept of where God is taking the word right now in the book of Romans. Okay, it says, verse 25, for who changed the truth of God into a lie, and worship and serve the creation more than the creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. Verse 26 says, for this cause God gave them up into vile affections, for even their women did change their natural use. Even the women did change their natural use, that which was against nature. And that is exactly what I just was going over. Women wanted to become men, saying you despise the man and you don't want to be a man. You don't want to be with a man, but you want to dress like the man. You want to take on the man role. You want to look like the man. As well as the women, you all are in reverse with the men. The men in the gay community will say that they don't resonate with the woman. They wouldn't be with the woman, but yet you want to look like the woman, look like a woman. And like I said, that's all propaganda You all are, the gay community is at the head of this propaganda that's being used, and they're playing on your mental. They're campaigning off your mental, which makes you unstable. They're playing on your mental to say that gays don't have the same rights, to say, to march in the streets and say black lives don't matter, that all lives matter. When, if you look around the Asian community, what's taking place, if you're looking around at Afghanistan, if you look around and see what's happening with this gay propaganda that's going on, that's being spread by the higher up gays. I mean, the gays, y'all been around for I don't know how long, for centuries, since the beginning of I don't know when, even back in this time, in the BCE time. Okay, this has been going on, but it's getting real disgusting to me that, we have real issues. Like I say, the gay community makes up every walk of life of different nationality, different species, different people. Okay, but right now, what society is trying to do, which is to hurt my people, the black people, and overshadow the real issues that we're having, overshadowing our voices, overshadowing the police killing, overshadowing what's wrong in the black community, and saying that we're not owed reparations or due for reparations, that, oh, we're gonna pass this law, y'all taking, the government is tending to everybody else and saying, no, the black generation of black people, they're not suffering anything, they don't deserve anything. We're gonna, y'all slapping us in the face when you saying that the Asians are protected, are saying the gay community now is being protected. And the gay community was disappointing pointing to me with the stands that y'all following in this propaganda, that y'all make up all of us, every community, every walk of life, y'all represent. Y'all call yourself a gay community because of the different things that you all are, the similarities that you have, which groups you in that community, just like they say a spiritual community, you know, the Democrat community, whatever, the parties and the liberals and whatever. You know what I'm saying? They put everybody in a different category and say nobody should meet on this accord, at least on this agenda. When it come down to people like my skin tone right here, this carbonated skin, nobody nobody is fighting for us. Everybody is overshadowing our voices, especially the gay community, which makes up, blacks make up a lot of everything. You know what I'm saying? It's every, in every race there's gay activity, gay people, or people that identify themselves as gay, that like the same sex. And no, I don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know a lot of those issues that people have with being gay, or where it started from, because some sick people within their family, or just with it, caught up in the system, or inside of a prison, or wherever it took place at, that, you know what I'm saying, people have been molested as children, which turned them off from a certain type of sex, or abused, you know what I'm saying, and they just, walk whatever walk of life they walk. To each his own. But what I disagree with about the gay community is that they're using them, and they're following right into this propaganda, which, like I said, if you look, the gay community, y'all make up every race, you know, every race, every race. So when you black and you in the forefront of this agenda that they're passing to overshadow what's going on, because they're giving you a voice to say whatever, and paying you off to say whatever. If you is the head of this propaganda within the gay community, everybody get paid to say whatever. But for you all to overshadow the discrimination against my people, your people as well, you know, to say that all lives matter when what about the black lives? Look what the president just did for the Afghanistan people, bringing them into the United States, setting them up with homes and houses, spending $6 billion on them to transition into the United States, as well as they do other foreign countries that come over here. And to say that I don't have a right to reparations or to be protected in this country, and I don't deserve the right, like they're trying to take out slavery, and for people to go around and make jokes and say, oh, you have this, we all, you're not saying that with the Asian community. You're not telling the Asian community that, you know, they're not owed anything. And you got even black people saying, oh, we don't need no handouts. Y'all defeating the purpose. Y'all don't really understand what's going on. When I hear my own people say stuff like that, when our people have suffered so much, the most, and still going through right now, and even still being abused by the nation and by the people of this world, you know, that are against us because they know it's real. And even when I see black people that are against our people receiving reparations of what's due, and then you got black community leaders that see this black on black crime going on, and then wants to capitalize when one of our own is killed by a police officer, and then that's when y'all want to take a stance. When you got to be consistent, you got to be consistent. Reach one, teach one. You got to break down all these barriers that's being, these barricades. You gotta you know what I'm saying? You got to stay consistent. You can't capitalize when you want to capitalize. And we all got to come together to make that happen. And that means celebrities and all that. Y'all black celebrities and stuff, especially with all this stuff that's going on. I don't even want to speak on it because there's so much people are already speaking on it. But I had to say that because this message right here, when God says, um verse 20, I'm gonna start from verse 26 and speak to the gay community on this level, because like I said, you all make up every nationality, every walk of life. Everybody in the gay community is of a different, you know, I have gay people in my family as well. So when y'all overshadowing what need to be tended to, when y'all could say, yeah, the Afghanistan, so you mean to tell me people from other countries outside of the United States, they deserve reparations, they deserve to be catered to by the United States government? The Asians deserve to be catered to by the United States government because y'all set up these scenarios and say these hate crimes were committed. What about the hate crimes that's been committed for centuries, over 400 years? And counting against my people? Nobody's standing up for us. And the ones that is trying to stand up, they overshadow. And then the ones that are saying something, they being paid to say something, and they're being paid to shift the wave of what really need to be said. Y'all get a black face on TV, but they're not saying what needs to be said, which is still overshadowing the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying now. And I'm not taking it on that type of message. I'm letting y'all know. And I'm just speaking on this because, yes, the gay community is being used to push this certain propaganda, when y'all need to understand in the gay community that y'all make up every nationality in the world, especially the ones that's living here in the United States, especially one that's opening their mouth, whoever, Betty, whoever that is, that's opening their mouth over the gay community. The same thing I heard Betty talking about whatever Betty was talking about, the leader of this gay community world. And I say, my Lord, this is the same thing that she's saying discrimination against and the right for equal opportunity. I say that sounds like the same thing that the black people are having an issue with. But y'all overshadowing Betty. You my kind, you my color. Y'all need to be, y'all overshadowing what's going on with us as a people, your people. And then y'all dividing us even more. They put titles on us. They said you was this. They said you was that. They told you to go over here. Y'all separate. That's what they're doing now. Continuation of separation. And y'all just feeding right into it. When y'all, the gay community makes up the whole people as a whole. Every nationality is a part of the gay community. Therefore, you should care, you black gays, about your people and what's being overlooked and what the gay community, what they're creating a propaganda that y'all at the forefront of. Oh, don't say this about no gays. Don't say this, but you can say anything about a black person. Y'all seen all these crazy emails coming out with the football players. Y'all know what's going on. Y'all ain't dumb, but y'all don't care because y'all so money hungry. Y'all getting paid to say anything and everything out your mouth, and the money talk all day long to some of y'all. Instead of a people as a whole to see what's going on. Y'all know why most things happen in our black community, in the black community, whether you black or not. You know why? Because the lack of finances. The lack of equal opportunity. The Davis-Bacon law that was put into place to keep my people at the bottom of the totem pole because we superior at our best. And we haven't been able to be at our best in centuries because so much has been taken away from us. I gotta charge up. Excuse me, y'all. I gotta charge up my laptop. But I want to finish this message. I'm almost done with Romans. But I just had to speak on that because that's important. That's the reason why I wanted to come on here and share this particular message. Out of the book of Romans, when men and women become lovers of themselves, y'all forget where y'all come from? Come on, man. All y'all was created in the, y'all act like y'all was created in a laboratory. Y'all act like y'all ain't got no people. You know what I'm saying? Standing behind y'all and with y'all. Y'all act like y'all can't stand with the people. Like, oh, I'm gay, so I just got to stand against the gay community. Y'all act like y'all don't see what's going on. And that's what upsets me with the gay community. Y'all put yourself in a different category from y'all people. Y'all separate yourselves from y'all people. It's 2021. Y'all the one who putting this propaganda out and saying, oh, the gays we don't have equal rights. Man, y'all been being what y'all want to be since I was born in the 80s. I remember the 80s. My uncle, I had an uncle that was gay and died of AIDS in the 90s. Got cousins, male and female, that are gay. Love them to death. They love me to death. Stop forgetting where you come from. Everybody didn't grow up in the gay community where you grew up and you found out you was different or gay or wanted to be gay and your family hated you. Y'all didn't. Oh, come on, man. Y'all trying to play that pity card. That's what upsets me. That's what upsets me. Because y'all overshadowing what's real and what's really going on in the black community, what's really going on with this propaganda, this agenda where they pushing everything. Oh, the gay this, the gay that, the gay that. One gay person get killed, the murder. Y'all don't die outside of AIDS and HIV. Y'all don't die to violence because y'all black people, white people, everybody die every day. Every day somebody dies every day. But soon as y'all allowing this propaganda to say, oh, you can't, come on, man, who ain't saying nothing bad about black people? even white people, whoever you are. It's somebody saying something bad about you all the freaking time, you know? So why is it now that, oh, I'm gay, or the gay community, oh, we need equal rights, this, that, and the third. Y'all got y'all unisex bathroom. Wow, my Lord. My Lord, they gave y'all a bathroom. A unisex bathroom. I mean, and then everything else is taking place now, you know. The black people, we deserve reparations. And it would be nice to have y'all, you know what I'm saying, to stand up against this propaganda, the gay community, to say, hey, no, y'all ain't finna use us for this propaganda. But like I said, y'all got this head lady Betty, and what she was just on, I forget what network interview was she was just on, and I was watching not too long ago, a couple of days ago. And I say, the issues that they're saying that the gay community is fighting for, the rights of the gay community, that's the rights of my people that we fighting for. We're fighting for the same thing. But the Asian community get it. As soon as you see a few subway attacks or some people that don't let out of a mental hospital, or some foreigners that come from other countries that y'all know got issues, or all that's junk. It was a setup to me, but I hate to get caught up in that. I did that, share that, and share my thoughts on that, because that's where I'm at with it. Honest to God, I won't take nothing back I said, because it all makes sense to me, and I know it makes sense to y'all too. That is not right. It's not right. And it's not right for y'all to sit back, the gay community, and allow yourselves and allow y'all community to be used in this way, to say, oh yeah, we deserve this over these people. And the American government to say, yeah, we'll pay these foreigners at the border. We'll give the Mexicans, we'll give the Asians, we'll give the Afghanistans, we'll give the Jews, we'll give everybody else, but the black community, they can't get nothing from us. They don't deserve anything. We don't deserve anything. We deserve everything. We deserve it all. Moving right along, verse 25, chapter 1 of Romans. It says, who changed the truth of God unto a lie, and worship and serve the Creator more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. Verse 26 says, for this cause God gave them up to vile infections, for their women did change the natural use, that which was against nature. Women, God created us to be fruitful and multiply, to bear more of his fruit, his seeds on this world, to keep the God seed in rotation. Huh? They want to push y'all, this gay community want to push and push and push, and say, nah, we don't want no babies. We'll go, y'all rather go get a baby out of laboratory than to have one natural, or to be natural, and then to say, oh, that men can have babies. That's everything against God. It says, for this cause God gave them up to vile affections, for the women did change their natural use into that which is against nature. You change your natural use, what God created you for man. Change your natural use unto that which is against nature. Verse 27 says, and likewise also the men, leaving their natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another. Men becoming lovers of themselves, men wanting men, women wanting women, changing the truth of God, the order of things, God's natural order of things. Y'all are being used by propaganda. Y'all are being used by a powerful black, dark, demonic spirits behind this propaganda. Y'all are being used. And maybe you okay with being used. Maybe you like that. Maybe you like corrupting the world. Maybe you want to stop the creation of the natural order of things. Maybe a lot of y'all want this to happen within y'all self, but it won't stop. It won't stop. It's more people out here like myself. It's more people out here like myself, as far as in, that love the order of God, the love the man and woman being unified together in the purpose of why God, they understand the purpose of why God created man and woman for each other. And not to knock whatever y'all got going on, that you feel you could be whatever you want to be in this world, whatever you want to do. Trust me, it's more of us than y'all. That's why y'all pushing it so heavy, because y'all know that y'all call all us the minority when indeed we are the majority. That's why y'all working so hard to try to kill us and to do everything. Y'all been trying to do this since BCE time. Take my people out and wipe my people out off the face of this earth, and stop this God seed from continuation and being in rotation with this whitewash, saying by the year 2030 it ain't gonna be no more people my color. The devil is a lie. That's why y'all mixing. And then you got, it used to be, we used to, most people, not we, I'm not gonna put myself in the category because I don't care who with who. I've dated outside my race before, but it used to be a lot, of the black men going to with the white women. Not a black women. It was more successful black men choosing a white woman. Now it's more successful, powerful white men that say, we want a sister. We want a sister. Like the music exec that just got married to the black woman, the Netflix guy who has a black wife. Okay. So two can play that game. That's what y'all look at this y'all playing games with one another. Y'all playing games with the order of God. Y'all playing games like y'all at the casino playing Russian roulette somewhere, and you only gonna destroy yourselves. You will never stop this rotation of God's true light being manifested, us creating more of God's light. We'll never go nowhere. No matter how many of y'all marrying and dating outside of y'all races to try to keep your bloodline in rotation, it will never stop. This purity, this carbon, this God seed. I'm a God seed. I'm the original seed of this earth. And so is my children and my grandchildren. And then y'all infecting these people with the jab, especially too, just like y'all tried to create with the mosquitoes, the Zika virus. They said that y'all was trying to get rid of, when mosquitoes not even natural. They're not natural, they're man-made. Just like y'all had in the laboratory in Britain that made the Ezekiel virus mosquitoes and unleashed them here in Florida in the Everglades, that said that y'all was creating them way from Britain to unleash y'all mosquitoes in Florida some years back. I'm a Florida native. I remember when that took place. Trust me, I do. My children and myself has been bitten and been infected by mosquito bites, and y'all doing that because y'all got a propaganda trying to stop the creation, the procreation of things. Y'all still talking about whitewashing and saying how it's, y'all don't want to see no more dark species on our planet, on the earth. And I said ours. But you'll never stop God's creation. Only he have the power to do that. And y'all been trying it for so long, and y'all still at it. It'll never stop. Y'all will die off before we do. especially with the way y'all carry yourselves. I'm just being truthful and honest. I know I'm speaking outside of the Bible right now, but this my truth. And I'm gonna speak my truth because that's how I feel, and I'm gonna let it be known. I wouldn't be on here if I did not want to speak my truth and let what I need to be said known, whether you agree or don't agree. But it says, verse 26, for this cause God gave them up until vile affections, for their women did change their natural use, which is against nature. Meaning y'all women getting them sex changes, or y'all women saying y'all don't want no parts of a man, but you want to dress like a man and look like a man. Y'all men that say y'all don't want to be with a woman sexually and go against God's natural order of why he made you as a man, and say, I don't want no woman, but I want to become a woman. That's psychological to me. Something is wrong with you psychologically, that say, hey, I don't want no woman, but I want to wake up every day in the mirror and go look and look like one. The women too. I don't want no man, but I want to wake up every morning and I wanna pretend like I won. I wanna you didn't have no daddy in your life, so you say you want to be a man and be the man that your daddy wasn't for you, or the men's. Y'all dealing with psychological issues where y'all need to go speak to a psychiatrist about whatever happened, and you were abused and everything else, that you didn't feel loved at home. That's where most of these problems come from in the gay community. A lot of issues. A lot of y'all turn out gay because y'all was abused when y'all was younger. Your mama didn't protect you. Your daddy didn't protect you. It was your daddy or your mama that abused you and molested some of y'all. And not just y'all. A lot of people that's gay and been molested, and a lot of heterosexual people that been abused. We all suffer from the same thing, some of us. But I just don't like the fact that y'all, the gay community, is allowing this propaganda to use them in such a way, and to say that y'all any different from anybody else that had the same experiences that you all had in life. If you want to be whoever you want to be, nobody's stopping you from doing that. Just like nobody's stopping me from being who I want to be, which is myself. I'm okay with God's divine natural order of things, how he created me to be. I love being a mother. I love men. And that's just for me. What's for me is for me. What's for you is for you. And we being adults, we should know that and stop trying to categorize yourself as something different, because you're not helping at all fix anything. You're only making whatever is going on and whatever propaganda they have planned and set out that's taking place right now. You only making it worse and feeding right into it. And that's what is upsetting to me, because I know that I'm not the only one that knows these things or that experience these things or see it. While y'all, I don't even know what to say no more. For this cause, God gave them up until vile affections, and for their women did change their natural use into that which was against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust toward one another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was met. Verse 28, and even as they did not like to retain, as even as they did not like to retain God and their knowledge, God gave them over to a probate mind to do those things which are not convenient. Verse 29, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit. My Lord, ain't that's what's going on? Ain't that's how they using y'all gay community? Huh? Filled with unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness. And not just the gay community too. That's how they using other people as well. Even especially my people that look like me and say they taking a stance, and then they open their mouth and you pay attention to what they saying and you say, oh, that is not, they not for our people. They look like us, they the same color as us, but they ain't us. They working for the other side. Like I said this a long time ago, back in 2019. You got white supremacy and there is black supremacy. Trust and believe that. Trust and believe that. Because I sure enough see it. Verse 29 says, I'll go back up to 28. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to probate mind to do those things which are not convenient. Verse 29 says, being filled with all righteousness, fornication, wickedness, and covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, and whispers and malignant. Verse 30 says, backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things. All this stuff that y'all they doing in the gay community, as far as when he say inventors of evil things, by saying a child that don't know no better. Like I said, y'all grown people, y'all got real mental issues, especially within that gay community that y'all dealing with, and other people too that's not gay. You got people that's not gay, like Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union with that little boy, and Dwayne Wade's son, that say, oh yeah, he's gay and this, that, and the third, and other parents saying, oh well, we don't want our child to identify as a boy or girl. They don't know what they are. Why they don't? Why they don't? You the parent, you sick, you so sick in your mind that you ain't gonna teach them, hey, if you got this body part, if you're gonna grow breasts, and if you got a split between your legs that you represent the woman species, and if you have if you a man child, you a man. Y'all adopt a churn and going in the laboratory, going creating damn lab mice churn, and wonder why so many different things going on in this world, because y'all mingling with these people, being influenced by these people. What is wrong with y'all grown people, especially in the gay community? If you want to be gay, go ahead. President Obama, he the one damn this damn nation the way it is now. Okay, and this gay marriage and stuff. Ever since gay marriage came about, it's been downhill. As the gay community say, it's uphill for us. No, it's downhill, because you losing sight of where you come from. What's your nationality? You put down your nationality and say, I don't got no nationality. I'm a gay person. We don't care about you being gay. We've been dealing with y'all in our families for I don't know how long. And y'all know that too. But inventors of, oh, where men can have babies, and oh, uh uh I can go and get this operation, and I could be a woman, or a woman going to go get an operation to turn herself into her private part as a man. Are you kidding me? Y'all better go talk to some of them older people. Some of them older people I take care of, they don't have the women. They have breast implants, and then they get old and can't go and get the surgery to fix themselves. That junk be all hard and stuck in place. The men that be don't got them things, on a private area, them inserts to make themselves bigger than what they is down there, all kind of stuff. They can't, they stay erected, all kind of stuff wrong before y'all go messing up God natural order, cutting on yourself and adding on stuff that ain't supposed to be added on to you. You better do your research. You want to go get this done, you might not even have the same feeling as a natural woman. I'm sure you won't. You won't even have the same feeling as a natural woman of what the man and woman experience in that way, as well as a woman that says she want to go get her sex changed and think that you think you're gonna have that same feeling as a man. You be done messed up your body and went and did that, and you don't even you don't even operate just like the man operate. So when the Bible says that he gave them over to their own reprobate mind, that's what I'm talking about. You go that way and you don't know what you walking into. Trust me, I take care of enough of all of y'all. The gay community, every nationality in my profession, I take care of a lot of different people. A lot of different people. And trust me, they suffer, and a lot of them be so ashamed when they get to that point where they can't take care of themselves. To be don't add it on this as a woman, and you ain't no natural man. You go and make yourself this way, and you ain't no natural woman. Y'all better cut that out. Making, as God say, look, or these people who wrote this Bible, they knew what was coming. Who wrote this book say being filled of unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, hate, debate, deceit, whispers, backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things. That's where I was coming from, explaining those different things I was just saying. He say inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers throughout the natural affection, and capable and unmerciful. 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 The gay community feel like they on top now, as I was saying about President Obama, portraying to be the best thing that ever happened to the black community when he never did nothing for the black community at all. At all. He just made what's going on worse for us. He was put in the office to push a whole nother agenda, which he did that. He was more help to the gay community than he was to his own so-called people. And we should have known that when they talked to his real family and interviewed his family in Africa on his daddy's side, talking to his siblings. Tell you they look like us, but they ain't for us. They put in place. They as Hollywood props. They ain't nothing but props. Verse 31 says, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, incapable, unmerciful. Verse 32 says, who knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only to do the same, but to have pleasure in them that do them. A lot of people out here sinning. I'm off the gay community because this is for all. A lot of people out here robbing and murdering and carrying on and hoeing and everything else, and everything that y'all got going on that y'all love to do, drugs and all that other good stuff that ain't so good. But you imagine that you doing what's right, but you're not doing what's right. You're not doing anything that's right. And it's a lot of people that's off track. A lot of people that's off track. A lot of people that's operating in the wrong way. I've been on here for 2 hours now. I know some of my messages go on longer, but I I'm led by the Spirit. Honest to God, I am. And what God tell me to say out my mouth, I will say. And most of this, um, as you know, is of my own opinion, but I try to, bring out different things that are going on, especially within the scripture of men becoming lovers of themselves, and not just men, women, you know, taking God's natural order of things, of why he created man and woman, and everything that took place when President Obama was in office, which is to, and then he bring Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe, the call him Democrat, but I call them Democrats. Them some demons in that White House. There's some pure demons, especially Joe Biden, Obama. You knew that. You knew that. And he was your VP president. You knew that. This your second term out of office, Obama. You knew that. You knew what you was doing when you created this, when you set this, the gay agenda at the top of your to-do list when you was president. You did this. You the reason why these young children that's coming up in this next generation, they don't have a chance. They don't have a hope. Y'all don't even want them to procreate no more. Clearly. That's how y'all promoting this propaganda. Y'all not even giving them babies a chance to be themselves and to make their own mindset up. Y'all in that gay community, when y'all were younger, okay, you had dreams about what you wanted to be. Y'all adults nowadays, and mostly y'all gay parents that are, being able to adopt children and get married, and you bringing a child in a household with two men and two women, confusing the baby, whether it's a man child, a little girl, or a little boy. You confusing those children. You're not giving them a equal chance to grow up to be whatever they want to be, like you were. You could be whatever you want to be. Now these days they say, well, if you was born a woman, you could be a man when you get older. Now look what y'all doing to these little babies, saying, oh, you're young. Oh, you could be a girl. You don't have to. We'll buy you girl clothes. You don't have to be a boy. But he got something swinging between his legs, but he don't have to be a boy no more, because you want to dress him up like a girl. Or you want to bring a child into your home, into you what you do, into your world, and mess up that child mind. Don't y'all know that? Y'all know children are easily influenced. Easily influenced. Y'all know in the gay community as well why most of y'all have turned out the way y'all turned out, being molested or abused as a child. Then for you to bring on a child in your household to abuse that child, at least the mindset of the child, if not physical abuse, what about the mindset of the mental of the child that you disrupting by pushing what you feel off on those children, by allowing, you can't do a lot of things in front of children. You can't, because they are easily influenced. They pick up on things. So you're not giving this younger generation a chance to be fruitful and multiply with little children, to be a family, to want to grow up and say, hey, it's okay to be with by the time they grow up, they're going to think it's okay to be with men, and man to be with men, and a boy to be with a boy, and a girl to be with a girl. Y'all messing everything up. Y'all feed right into Bill Gates and George Soros and Mark Zuckerberg and all those other people, Elon Musk, even him too. Y'all feeding right into all this sick propaganda, which is only gonna mess up this younger generation. Like, they want to enslave it. They don't want them to focus on having families with one another, because in my children generation is supposed to be my grandchildren generation. They want them to be slaves. They're training their children to run. They getting these elites and their children and their businesses that they're going to leave behind to their children, and how they set the standard for the money of the world rules the world right now. If you got money, then you're a part of the decision making of what's going on in this world. And y'all think y'all gonna teach my grandchildren how to be slaves to y'all when I'm trying to teach them how to be independent and business owners, and I'm trying to create businesses for myself to leave behind for my children. It might not be a Fortune 500 company, but to be leaders of this world as well, in regards to independent, not slaving for somebody else, not having to work up underneath other people. That's what y'all doing. Y'all preparing this younger generation, the gay community. They're using y'all for that too, to prepare these children on don't think about no family and this, that, and the third. If you want a baby, we'll okay it. We'll incubate it. We'll grow it in the laboratory for you and give it to you. Tell you that's the future of this world. That's where they want to take the world to be like China. Them Chinese people, they work uh, 7 days a week for little or nothing. Little or nothing. I heard a joke one time before and say the reason why Chinese people, if you look at them, they don't. I go to the nail shop, they smile every now and again. They laugh every now and again, but a lot of them, they don't even have no facial expression because they work so hard. They be so tired. They work, 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 work. Even when they was back home, it was the same thing when they was over there. They work, 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 work. So do we do too. But we know how to laugh and play and get our free time in where we don't have to work so hard. I'm finished with the chapter 1 of Romans. I know this was like on another type of level tonight, as far as in me mixing in my own feelings with the message that went forth tonight. But I hope you all understand where I'm coming from. I don't mean no harm. I really don't. I'm just speaking the truth, and that is the truth. Like I said, I got gays in my family. You know, I'm not against the gay community. I believe you can be whoever you want to be in this world, especially this day and age, this time frame that we in, man, please. But y'all, that propaganda they doing and having y'all to overshadow what's really going on, what really need to be addressed, which is my black community need to be addressed. Reparations for my people, us watching these different foreigners coming into this country, that we work hard and pay taxes for, that we still suffering, watching our people get lynched still and killed by the police, and watching our people still kill each other and dealing with psychological issues. Y'all ain't the only one that's going through it. As E40 say, you ain't the only one with a reject, a dope fiend, or a gay in your family. We all got that. Rejects, dope fiends, gays in our family, crazy people, whatever you want to call it. That's in every family. So stop acting like y'all different from one another when we all face the same thing at some level. Meet my people on our level and help us get what's rightfully deserved to us, so we could take a stance for ourselves and help build my people up. That's what I want to endure. That's what I want to have a chance to do. That's what I'm fighting for. That's why I ask for donations, to be able to help this younger generation, you know what I'm saying, to make a way for themselves, to show them better, my people. This younger generation is out here taking each other lives left and right. Y'all don't relate on a lot of levels of my people, and suffer the same things that we suffer from, and being rejected from society like we have been, like we don't deserve anything, when we help build America to what it is today. We help fight for America to be what it is today. We also help and work enforcement and help keep America where it's at today. So stop pushing my people to the back burner and our needs to the back burner. I hope you all enjoyed the message. Whenever you all come across this message, whenever it may be, I will come back on here and share another spiritual message. I'm not gonna hold y'all up any longer. Just stay encouraged. Stay encourage yourself. Um, you know, stay focused. Stay grounded, man. Stay standing on the foundation of God. Search within yourself. you know every day. It's all kind of distractions that's thrown your way to try to keep you off focus and get you focused on other things. Don't fold. What I'm saying? We don't fold on the pressure. I know it's hard to stand, right now, but you got to stand for something. If you don't stand for nothing else, stand for something. you know and especially this younger generation. No, not just the black. I'm talking about the young generation, period, within every race, for them to have a fair chance at having a family, for them to grow up and be whatever they want to be, for them not to have to be enslaved and to be programmed the way that society is trying to program this nation to be. It's so corrupt. It's so wicked. It's so defiled nowadays. But I love you all. I know it's been a while. I'm going to try to share some more messages with you all. I hope that you got the message. Whoever come across this video, I hope that you were in tuned and under on one accord as much as possible. If not, go back and read it for yourself. It might be something that you can pull out of it that I was unable to pull out of it. And let me know. I would love to hear back from you all. I love you all. Stay focused, stay balanced, and stay encouraged. And until the next time, I will be um, doing the same thing I've been doing. Maybe not so often on YouTube, but I do it. All right, I'm going to sign out. I'm going to end this live stream, and I will see you guys next time.